everybody. This is Louise Hicks, your host of Aim to Purpose Spiritual Empowerment Hour. And we have a special guest in today. We've been advertising all week about our special guest, Chef D. Allen, and we're going to talk a little bit about our vision on board. It was a private event that we did, and Chef D participated, and I did, and a few others participated as well. And we just kind of want to catch up a little bit about uh, the vision. So, Chef D, since we had that vision on board back in May, we spent the whole month actually talking about a lot of things. What happened? I know you had a lot of things that happened, and it was a private event, but now we're going to go public and share all of the exciting things that happened.
It is awesome. I brought my board to the kitchen. I'm in the Build a Piece kitchen, by the way. So throughout this, radio show, I'll be in and out. But I look forward to this discussion and giving an update. I'm super excited. Just to talk about my vision that I had, which is all about goals and family, right? Um,
Yes.
and so with the business, it's always been for me about the community, engaging the community, giving the community something that is great for them. And that was what my vision was about. It says community, healthy, memories, fun, unique, youth, and family oriented. Okay. And I talked about being a role model for our community. And so that's what it's all about. I can say that I've done that. I am getting more into doing that. I'm having events at the new location, bringing the community together, giving them information that is helpful to them. We had our Halloween kickoff, and we basically had business this year that was giving information like no other. Um, we had the Jones Family Mortuary here. You would never think a mortuary, would be beneficial to the family, but, because of loss, right? But they were giving
Oh,
information
yes.
for planning, you know. We all need to plan. It's a tough decision to make, but planning was key, right? Knowing, telling your family your desires once you do meet this girl. Having that in place beforehand so your wishes can be met, right? So I love that for a fact. I had HG Todd here giving information all about accounting and legal services and all different type of services she offers that was great for the family. And Built a Piece was given, delicious, fun pieces that no one ever had. So Lou, I can say I've started on this journey. I'm giving the community something. We are having a next event December 3rd, our Christmas kickoff. So you guys got to come down. So this one is in work. I'm super excited.
That's exciting to me too, because of you fulfilling your vision. And sometimes we create vision boards, and we don't always fulfill them. And again, this is Chef D. I'm Louise Hicks, your host of Aim to Purpose. If you just chimed in, Spiritual Empowerment Hour, we did a vision board event. It was a private event back in May. We celebrated the whole month of May. And now we want to just give an update since it was a private event. We want to go public with it so everyone can understand when you have a vision, you have that vision, faith, hope, knowledge, and you take action. Look what happens. So go ahead, Chef D, share some more.
And can I tell you, Lou, you look beautiful today on this Sunday. You
Oh,
look just
thank you. Thank you.
so another Rose family. I talked about how I see now my fiance. We got engaged.
Yes.
He proposed on Thanksgiving, and so I see us as the Obamas of the future, right? And so how do
Yes.
we get there? It's all about growing and merging families, my family with his family with mine, and we're building legacy. We talked about that, right? And how are we going to do that? Through love, hope, goals, wealth, legacy, and patience and support. You know,
Yes.
and so with him proposing to me and us now, engaged and looking forward to bringing great things to our family and our community. I can say that this is it's going. It's you put it everyone. I tell everyone, write down your goals, write down your future as being, and it definitely can come to fruition for you. You just have to think positive, be hopeful, and just keep it moving, no matter the obstacles. I have a lot of obstacles that's with me, but I am continuing to move forward with the support of Marcus, my fiance, and my family. And I'm super excited to continue on this path.
I am too. I'm so excited. And as you all can see, she's in her kitchen at her business, Build a Pizza. And
Yeah.
just, we're so excited. And be sure and share this video, because what Chef D has already said is all about the Black business and how we can share and support one another. And that's one thing that we don't do enough. We don't support our Black businesses. And again, I have a YouTube channel. Go to my YouTube channel and see some of the content out there. I've done an interview with Chef D in the past before she did her grand opening down in Houston, Texas, where I was at the grand opening. And we need to do more support of our Black businesses. And I did a vision board as well. And I will share a little bit with you about, I don't have my vision board handy because it's in Texas. I came to California and I'm here in my son, Kenan Mason's office, who is the owner of Kinetic Fit and Wellness. So I'm in his office, as you can see some of the background here in California. But I can tell you my vision was to continue to carry on with my podcast, to build up my followers, and that has been happening. I'm even getting calls now from ordinary people like ourselves who have a vision and they want to share with you their vision. And that was one of the things I had on my vision board, is to grow this podcast that I started in January of this year. In fact, January 30th. And the primary focus of this podcast is to help to elevate our people, Black people. And that's not to say that anybody else is not welcome. You're welcome to come in. You're welcome to chime in and give us your point of view, because that brings about harmony and support for everyone. And that's what it should be all about. Love, as Chef D shared on her vision board. And I did the same thing. I shared it about love and about having ownership as Black people, becoming entrepreneurs, training our children up. And by the way, my YouTube channel is AIMED, AIMED, the number 2, Purpose Radio, Aim to Purpose Radio. Go to my YouTube channel, subscribe, give it a thumbs up, leave comments, because we have a lot of great content out there to help elevate you. But today we're talking about vision on board and support of Black businesses. What can we do to elevate our Black businesses? And we have to do more of that. So with that said, Chef D, we need to really have you to share with us some of the things that, what are the terms and conditions for Black businesses, particularly small Black businesses? Let's talk about that.
Oh man, I that term came to me when I was thinking about some of my interactions with my customers, especially my Black customers, and I had a few, and I was shocked to hear. One was just yesterday. I'm just going to tell them a little history about me. I've been in business. I was, working a full-time job and had my business since 2015. So I've been a Black-owned business for quite some time, and that was catering. So, people are probably used to us doing catering. Now I'm in the pizza industry, right? So people ask the question, why pizza? Why not? I am a trained chef with the Art Institute of Chicago, and I was trained, and I found the love of Italian food, Italian cuisine, and with all those flavors, I put recipes together, And so I wanted to bring those flavors, healthy options to our community. And so I get the question of, why pizza? Why not? Why not?
Yeah, why not?
I can make it. I've proven to make it, right? And it's damn delicious.
So
I get
true.
that feedback. I'm not bragging, but I get that feedback that it's just delicious. So when a customer walks up to me, they place an order for pickup, and they say, I told them about my event that's coming up, and just a general conversation. And he said, well, if this is good, then I'll be at the event. Why does it have to be if it's good? Why can't it just be I'll try to make it, right? To your event. Um,
Absolutely.
you see that if, that's a term and condition. Can you expect, can I ask my black supporters to just expect it's going to be good? Don't have those terms and conditions on our black business. People look at me and say, you're a black woman doing pizza. I don't know if that's going to be good. Why not?
Absolutely. Can I chime in and say something? Why not? We as Black people eat a lot of pizza. We eat just as much pizza as anybody else, maybe more at times. So why not buy your pizza from a Black-owned business that can make pizza just as good or better than some of the big chains, because she has a variety of pizzas, as she's saying. So why not?
Yeah,
I mean, we eat a lot of pizza, so why not support our own?
yeah. I had a customer who seeks a black-owned pizza company. Now there are a few of us in Houston.
Yes.
She said, but she saw my story and wanted to come and try me out. And she said she's a loyal. After she left, she was on her way out the door. She said, "We will be back." That was delicious, you know. Um, so I want people to go in with the mindset it's going to. Because guess what? We as black cooks and chefs, we know flavor, right? We know flavor. If you were raised
Yes.
black kitchen with your grandma, your aunties, which I was, we know flavor. And then on top of that, I'm a chef, so I'm bringing different flavors, right? So I just want that terms and conditions to go away. I want you to go in and just go into a location, black business, with the same mindset of when you go to a chain restaurant, another location of theirs, whatever.
Yes.
You know, Lou. So I just want those terms and conditions to go away. So I hope we can do that. And if anyone wants to chime in and put a note in the chat, Lou, you have access to the chat. I don't know if I
Yes,
can.
I'm watching the chat now, and Barbara Smith was saying that she was trying to get in, I guess, to say something, but she's watching. So I don't know. I did hand out the information. We put all the information on our pages, everyone. So if you want to uh, put something in the chat, you have a question, put it in the chat. I will do my best to look at I'm watching the chat as we speak, and I will also we'll answer your question. And Barbara says pizza is the bomb. Chef D, tell everyone Miss B from Cali, meaning California, came all the way from SoCal to make it. There is, what did she say? There is no problem, especially for the ones right there. So I agree with her. If she's coming all the way from California, where I am right now, what about all of you Black people in Houston? We know you eat pizza, you love pizza. And let's talk about another thing, capital.
Oh yeah,
Capital. We
yes,
want to talk about capital. We have 1.6 million trillions of dollars running through our black hands. So some of us I hear will say, oh, well, I have to go here or there and get it because it's a little bit more over here in the black business. Well, what do you expect? If you're not trading with the black business, how do you expect for black businesses to lower their prices? We have a lot of money running through our hands. However, it's how we're spending our money. So to
Correct.
elevate one another collectively, let's start spending that extra money over in the Black community
Yes.
and stop putting those terms and conditions. So talk about the capital, Chef D.
Oh yeah. I heard that in the shopping center that I'm in, I'm known as the gourmet pizza lady. I do have different pizzas. I'm bringing flavor to crust. Um, and guess what? It's inflation time, everyone. I don't think that people are aware, Lou, but we actually, in order to give you services off site, online, we actually have to pay to do that, right? So not only do we
Yeah.
have food costs, the employees, the rent, supplies, we have to pay to provide you services. So no one really knows those upfront costs that we have to pay. And I have a space, there's utilities, right? So that cost is not even accounted for in the price. We try to put, the cost of what it takes to make, I know I do, to make the piece, to give it to you, and try to make a little bit of money to take care of things. But that cost, trust me, is nowhere near
Yes,
what it takes for us to do what we do to get you those things. Now let's compare us
absolutely.
to a chain. They have that backup, right? They have
Yes.
that support of a corporation, the funds, the supplies at a cheaper rate. We do not. We're buying local. We're buying online to try to save money for those supplies so we will have to raise prices, right? And so it's it's a little bit of a combination of everything. But I know when I look at my costs, I don't try to gouge people. That's not my goal. That's what it
Right.
makes. You talking about a jambalaya pizza? It has shrimp and Cajun chicken and then andouille sausage. Those are high-end items that cost a lot of money, right?
Yes.
And so when we go out and buy it and the price is going up and up and up, I know another chef who's raising prices because of that. I have not, you know, but people don't see that. They don't think about that. They just say the Black business is higher. They're higher. No, we're
Hmm.
actually not. The other people can reduce their costs because they have those savings available, guys. They have
Yeah.
access to those bulk discounts that we don't.
You're right. And the other thing is, it's easier for other people to get business loans than it is for us. It's very difficult. I know for a fact because I had a business. I still have a business, but I was involved in a newspaper business in Texas. And I'm telling you, it's more difficult. A person from a foreign country can come here and get a business loan quicker than we as Black people can. And I'm telling you what I know. I'm speaking from experience, exposure, and what I've heard from other Black people, how difficult it is for us to get those business loans. And it's so sad because we pay taxes just like everybody else here in this country. And it's cheap. Other people can come from other countries and get a business loan from the SBA quicker than we can as Black people. And that needs to change because it makes it so difficult for us. Like Chef D said, we don't have that backing and support of these big chains. So that's why it's so important for us to take some of that $1.6 trillion annually that we bring in as Black people. That's more money than some countries have. So why aren't we supporting our own? And look at how beautiful Chef D looks with her uniform, all professional. I mean, she's a professional and she exhibits professionalism. And sometimes we come in as Black people and we're the first ones to complain about other Black businesses instead of uplifting. Let's discuss that too, because we need
Well,
to stop that.
yeah, I just want to go back. I want people to think and put this question in mind. Why do we have campaigns and people out there saying support like this, support like this? They know it's not enough, right? They know it's not there. So ask yourselves, why is that? Why do we have to say that? Does anyone say go support white businesses, go support Hispanic businesses? No.
Right.
Ask yourself that. That's because it's lacking. Okay, it's lacking, and so um, I want people to say, I'm going to do this without terms and conditions. I'm just going to go do it, right? I hear people say, I love supporting Black business. Just do it every day. Just do it. It's got to be in the norm. It just can't be, I'm just going to go and do it today. I'm going to try to do it next weekend. Just have it in your daily. You're going to go to McDonald's, think about, I'm going to go to this business and say, you know, because I've been wanting to try this, you know. And so having that mindset, and going back to the capital group, you're absolutely right. It was a challenge for me, and it was a battlefield. Okay, it was 50 million ways of trying not to give me the loan.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
and I know everybody has the same requirements that they have, but unfortunately, there are things that we are lacking as a Black community that we don't have to get these loans. And so,
Absolutely.
you know, unfortunately, we have to work harder to make sure everything is in place in order for us to do that. And that's where we are, right? Our credit has to be in place, you know, our bills have to be caught up and paid, you know, and then you have to have some type of collateral. You know, they say some loans don't have collateral. If you don't have collateral, you better have the credit because it's one or the other.
Absolutely. And I want to add to that because we know all of these things and these conditions are by design to hold us back as Black people. So we have to think smarter,
Yeah.
use that mindset to think smarter and stop some of the inappropriate behaviors that we have because we know this is by design to hold us back because we are a brilliant melanated people. We have the know-how. Why do you think everybody's out here copying what we do? And then they'll copy what we do and make more money than we do. And that's been going on for years and years and years. So what we have to do is think smarter because we know a lot of these things are by design to keep us in our place, so to speak, according to the white society, the ones that are like that. And believe me, I'm not talking about all white people because there are some decent white people out here, just like we are, decent Black people, and they are out here. So I'm just saying, people support their own. And
Yeah.
we as an ethnic group, we're the most divided ethnic group in America. And it's changing and it's because we are talking about it more. We have to open up and talk about these things and be honest about it and upfront about it. And as anyone knows me, Louise Hicks, I'm open, honest, upfront about it because we need to support our Black businesses, put some of that money and stop complaining. Oh, it's a little bit higher. You spend a lot of money, $1.6 trillion. So let's stop complaining about our Black businesses being a little higher. You might pay a dollar more, quarter more, whatever. But what is that to help elevate our own as a collective unit so that we can build? Because nobody is going to build it for us.
Yes.
We have to work together to build it ourselves. And that's why we know this stuff is by design, because in spite of all the obstacles that we face, look what we did. And when we did it, we had jealous people, white people, let's tell it like it is, to come in and tear it down. Not just Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma, many thriving Black communities across America have been destroyed and we were given nothing. So let's look at the root cause, the why many of us don't have all of the conditions that are put on us. And let's be clear about this too. Other ethnicities don't have all these conditions put on them. They can
Yeah.
go in and get a mortgage with a lower score than we can. And that's the fact. Statistics have shown that.
Mm.
So we have to think smarter and work together as a unit a unified people so that we can elevate ourselves. And I'm so glad that we're working on reparations because we are owed it. We are owed that. Our families worked themselves to the bone through all of the atrocities that they suffered.
Yeah,
And here we are still going through this same crap.
it is. It's just a different form.
That's all. They have a different template that they use. That's why we have to think smarter and just do what we know we need to do to support one another with that $1.6 trillion that's growing, and stop the mindset I can get it cheaper over here. Go and support, and then the Black owned business can make it cheaper so that it can be more affordable. And that's what we have to look at. So
That's my.
what else would you like to share on that subject matter, Chef D?
Talk about, we are in an inflation time. Everyone's having a hard time. Everybody
Yes.
have the opportunity to go and buy, right? But I want to talk about sharing. You can share. I posted something on my page, um, yesterday in support of Small Business Saturday. And I wanted to just talk about that. How can you support for free? It doesn't have to be always about you coming here. How about you bring someone else here? If you can't make
Absolutely.
it, tell someone else, because um, I feel like right now social media is a scroller. We're just scrolling and looking. But if you're not reading, share, right? Share the information that you receive, you've gotten, and you feel like it may be beneficial. That's all you got to do. Number one, share a post. You see something, share it with your community, with a group that you feel like will be beneficial. Number two, like a post. Like it. If you like it, just hit the like button. Show us that,
Absolutely.
right? Number three, tag a friend. You may see that this radio show, we've said something that someone else said, oh man, I wish I would have known this. Go ahead and tag a friend. Uh, Post a photo. You've seen something that was good. You've actually visited the restaurant. You've enjoyed the pizza. You've enjoyed whatever you've enjoyed at this business. Post a photo. Let everybody know, man, this, as they say, fire, And number,
Yes.
write a positive review. I had a review that said, man, the pizza was delicious. The sandwich was delicious. I wish the sandwich was bigger. That's okay. It's okay to say that, right? They wish the
Absolutely.
sandwich was bigger. It's a lot of beef on that sandwich. I'm just saying. But just write a positive review to let us know, how we're doing. Because how are Black businesses supposed to, and I know there's a lot of people who come and say, it was all right, this and that. It's okay. Let us know so we can better ourselves. Lift us up. I posted the Rihanna new song for Wakanda Forever. Lift us up. Don't tear us down. I had a guy who came in here, Lou, and he said, I'm going to try you out. Here's that terms and conditions again.
Yes.
I'm going to try you out. Why do you have to try me out? Just try it, right?
Hey, absolutely. Just come and buy it and give feedback like you're saying, because no matter what your feedback is, that's uplifting and helping us as Black business to grow. And thank you all for chiming in. I see Barbara is chiming in. We must tell people what to do. We must learn to support Black owned business. Kofi Mensah is watching. Angela Flakes is watching.
You know
So
what?
we
They're
appreciate that.
having a hard time joining the Zoom. I don't know why.
I
Um,
don't
There's a
either.
code. It hasn't changed what you sent me today.
It's the same Zoom. I'll give you the Zoom ID and password. It's
I don't know if you can have the ability right now, but Angela tried to join. Marcus tried to join. Um,
okay, it's
I did type it wrong. I typed the ID originally wrong, but then I thought I corrected it because I put 40,
I'm
22,
gonna
4,
I'm gonna
2,
give
2,
you
2.
the Zoom, everybody. Let me give it to everybody. It's give me a minute here. It's 856
Uh-huh.
3095
Uh-huh.
4222. And the password is lowercase c, as in
Lord.
Charlie.
Okay.
Yes, the number 7,
Uh-huh.
lowercase w,
Okay.
the number 1, lowercase I, as in
Okay.
ice, and the number 6.
Okay. That's probably the problem. I
I'm going to
had an
see if I
uppercase
can put it
C,
in the
right?
chat. Let me see if I can go and put it in the chat. Okay, everybody? Let me see.
If you could post that on Facebook, I think that'll help
That's
as
what I'm
well.
talking about. I'm going to see if I can put it in a live Facebook chat. Let me see. Okay, it's 856 856 3095. This is the Zoom, 856 3095 4222.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yep.
the Zoom ID.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I'm putting it in the chat and I'm going to release it in a minute. Let me put in the password. That's the Zoom ID. Now, the password is, give me a minute, you guys. I want to make sure I get this right.
Uh-huh.
Password is small letter C. So it'll be C, the number 7, small letter W, the number 1, small letter I, and the number 6. C7W1I6, and I put it in the chat for everybody. So you can go in, and that's how you get into the Zoom. Okay. And someone is on the phone, they got in. Would you like to speak? If you like to speak, if you're on the phone, unmute yourself and speak to us. You're muted if you're on the phone and you'd like to say something. I don't know. It's a 173-1713-5915-791. That's the number that's on the phone. So if you'd like to speak, you have to unmute yourself. So they haven't unmuted, so I guess they don't have anything to say at this point. But anyhow, everyone, I put in the chat the information, so you should be able to come into the Facebook Live, and the Zoom is 856 again, 3095 4222. That's 3 2s. And the password is lowercase c, as in Charlie, the number 7, lowercase w, as in water, the number 1, I as in ice, the letter lowercase I, and the number 6. And you can come in to the Zoom and chat live with us.
Yes.
So,
I
because
I
we want your support.
do, and I want Black business owners to join. I really do. I want them to let us know what are you looking for in regards to Black support. And for me, I just want us to have in our hearts that you want us to succeed and that you want us to grow, just like the chains, right? With the mindset that,
Yes.
yeah, and it I think that it will help um, when you just let us know what we can do.
Oh,
If
yes.
somebody doing something wrong, let them know. You know, um, Marcus and I, our palates are very advanced when we eat out. We went to go visit a very popular, restaurant, Black owned, and it just didn't fulfill our flavors. But we said, you know what? Maybe it just, maybe we need to try something different. We need to just try something different, and that didn't do it for us. We're gonna go back and we're gonna try something different. So we plan to do that. But we didn't tear them down, go on there, social media or anything like that, and say, oh, it's disgusting. It had no flavor. Blah, blah, blah. Nope, we just said we're going to go back and we're going to support.
Absolutely. And that's what we need. We need to have Black businesses to support Black businesses, as well as everyday people who don't have a business. Because, like I said, we have all this money running through our hands, and we are the ones that's least likely to support one another in our businesses. And also, let's talk a little bit about the flaws of our Black business and what we have to say about our Black business. Instead of putting us down, why not uplift and build up? So we do hear that too sometimes. Oh, I'm not going to trade with that Black business. Why? And I've heard it. In fact, I recall a show that Oprah had a long time ago where Black people were on there talking about they're not going to trade with Black people. And I find that to be a problem because I can share with you personally that I've traded with other ethnic groups and I've had issues with them. So if you have an issue with I've even had to go to court and sue an attorney, a white attorney, who was later disbarred because he was not doing his business with me the way he should have been. And he was recommended to me and I hired him. In fact, I will share this with you too. I have made attempts to hire Black attorneys through their organizations and haven't heard back from them. So that's an issue that we need to address too, because we as Black people need to make sure that we are taking care of business as well. And something else we'll talk about after we discuss these flaws.
I want to talk about that. I know I have flaws. I'm going to tell you why I have flaws. As the business is not coming through, okay, we don't make money, right? So what do, Lou? You make changes with your business operations, right?
Yes.
So I've had to, change my payroll, scheduling, things like that. So, I'm doing a lot by myself. A lot. So that's my flaw. But guess what? I can't help it because do I have money to pay a lot of work when we're not busy? No, I cannot. So I have to make those changes. But if we have the support and we have people coming through and we're making the money, we can do more. We can do more. Running out of things. If you run out of things, just like any business, you walk into a business, say they out of ketchup, they be like, okay, they don't have ketchup. But let a Black business say, we don't have ketchup. Why you don't have ketchup?
Yes.
We get because we don't have these things. But when the big chains are out of something, they're just out of it. So I know the flaw that I have. Angela is trying to join. I think.
Yeah, I see her coming in. Great, great. Come on in, Angela. And you're so right. But does that stop you from going back to that big chain to get a pizza or to go get some chicken? No, I have gone to big chains and ordered my product and I get home. Now I've learned to check my stuff and it's the wrong thing. I didn't even order what they put in there. That happens a lot. It happens a lot, but we keep going back. So why are we putting our own businesses down and going out gossiping? Oh, so-and-so, so-and-so. We need to stop that. If you want to say something, even right there in the restaurant, go up to Chef D. Chef D is open and say, oh, Chef D, so-and-so, I love your pizza, but I want to just give you a little compliment as well as a little feedback.
Right.
Do that. Why go out and gossip about your Black-owned business? We have a hard enough time as it is. So go ahead, Chef D.
Well, I'm trying to see. I know Angela was having
Angela, there she is. Hi, Angela. How are you? It's so good to have you in here with us.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Good. Yeah, I hope you've heard a lot of the conversation because today, as I mentioned, everyone, I'm Louise Hicks, your host of Aim to Purpose Spiritual Empowerment Hour. I'm on here every Sunday. I have a YouTube channel Aimed, AIMED, the number 2 Purpose Radio. That's Aimed to Purpose Radio, my YouTube channel. Go there and subscribe. Please share. We have a lot of content. And like I said, my podcast is more on uplifting our people, because every ethnicity is about their own. Charity starts at home. And we need to do the same thing. And I hear some Black people say, "Oh, you're being you excluding." No, I'm not excluding anybody. Everybody is welcome to come here. However, we don't complain about other ethnicities uplifting their people, having meetings to educate their people. So we're doing the same thing. And if anybody, a Black person particularly, if you're out here complaining about that, you need to go and reassess your mindset, because everybody does it. People are supporting their own first, and you see it in business every day. I just went and bought some hair, and who do you see? Who did you see? I'm just
it wasn't us.
It wasn't us, because we don't have access to this hair to do and I wear my hair natural a lot too, but I do like to get braids, and we can support other businesses. So why not support your own?
And there are Black owned business hair suppliers.
Yes.
I mean, there are
Black owned hair businesses, and I have bought from them. But for this particular instance, I didn't have one, and it was another one right around the corner. So I just went and got the hair there. But we have to seek out our Black businesses as well. Like 1-800-UNITE-US. They have a lot of Black businesses on that 1-800-UNITE-US, and it's on Facebook. Go to that site.
Okay, I didn't know about that.
Didn't know that either.
Yes, 1-800-UNITE-US is out of California. I know the owner, Charles Brister, is the owner of it. He has it's on Facebook, 1-800-UNITE-US. And you can go there and find and seek out Black businesses. And there are other resources too. Now, one problem I have, and I'm going to share this, some of these groups on Facebook that are supposedly Black business groups. However, if you post in some of them, they will deny you. And I have a problem with that as well. If you are a Black group on Facebook, why would you deny a positive Black-owned business to post in your group? What is that all about?
Yes, we have.
What's that all about?
The thing is, Lou, every group has their requirements, right? And they have
I know.
And so sometimes, like, I've been denied to post because I've had too many pictures. I didn't know the rules, okay?
But even when you know the rules, I'm saying some Black groups have, because I had to question one, that I was born and raised in that community. Because I was posting stuff, and I'm saying, why aren't my posts being shown? So a lot of these things out here with us has to do with jealousy. And we have to start calling it out. A lot of it has to do with jealousy. You're so afraid another Black person might elevate higher over you. But don't you realize if you work together, you can elevate together? Look how far you can go together. That's what other ethnicities are doing. They are working together. They come together and give each other feedback. I know, because I've had a Hispanic woman in California to help me with things, and I had some Black people to tell me, "Oh, I'm going to get back to you. I'll help you." Never heard back from them. And that's one of the issues we face, and we need to start calling it out for what it is. But we can get on Facebook and we can share all kind of BS and NS. We share that kind of stuff. Twerking. How is twerking going to help you to elevate yourself? And we see even the Rhode Island senator out here. Oh, I don't want to get into all that, because now we're promoting Black businesses, but we need the right examples set for us and our children. And you talked about family. That's important. Go ahead, Dee.
So my family just joined. Angela is my stepdaughter. She joined this for a reason. I want you to speak, Angela, and talk about you as a young Black woman. What are you seeing? What are you hearing about Black support?
Yeah, so I think when it comes to Black support, or I should say a lack of Black support, I see that really for me in the workplace. And so I'll share my journey on my work experience. So back in August, well, even before, so in August, I resigned from my job. I worked for BP, which is an oil and gas company. And so I really didn't want to. I really didn't want to leave the company, but a person that I worked for, who was a woman of color, was definitely one of the reasons why I left, which was highly disappointing. Prior to when I first joined BP, my role was a learning coordinator. So unfortunately, they had a major layoff to take place, and I was involuntarily placed into another role. And I gave it a good year. During that time, it was very challenging because I lacked a lot of experience. And I'm a type of person, I take my development seriously. So if there is something that is lacking, I'm going to try to go to the extreme to figure out, what do I need to do? How can I improve? Yeah. And what disappointed me the most was my boss that I worked with. And when I mean lack of support, very just one aspect I didn't like, she was very unprofessional. She knew that I was really trying to really do better. And so instead of trying to identify techniques or maybe put me in training or really work with me one-on-one, she utilized our meetings to basically, in other words, put me down. And the straw that broke the camel's back for me, now mind you, during this year that I was learning this role, I was challenged. So it was already demotivating. And that's why I think it's important to really be careful on the things that you say. You don't know what mindset people are in. And unfortunately, I was not in a good mindset. So she made a comment. It was, I worked like on cases. So think of it like a call center, and you get tickets. And so those tickets would get audited. And when she audited one of the tickets, she said it was so bad that she had to close her laptop and go get a drink. And so I didn't know what to say. I broke down crying. Like when I got off.
I had one of those, Angela, but go ahead.
Yes, when I stepped out of the meeting, that really just, any hope that I had just went down. And, she told me, okay, we're going to figure this out. And this is the part, okay, maybe she wants to support me. Maybe she's just being abrasive or just direct. She goes, okay, let's just take the weekend. Let's figure something out. You come up with the plan. And so I did that over the weekend. I came up with the plan to figure out how we can get me on track to understand the parts that I wasn't doing so well in. So the following week rolls around. I set up the meeting. So this is a meeting I set up. I go into, so once the meeting happens, she says, step into a call room. And when I go into a call room, I notice it's a large conference room. So there I see sitting there, not only my boss, but my boss's boss. And there they have a document, which is a performance improvement plan. And basically she said, well, we talked about your performance, and unfortunately, we just haven't seen any improvement, but what we want to put out to you is a performance improvement plan. I don't want to see you leave, because I would hate to bring in someone else to have to train up, and I'm thinking about all of these things. First of all, you don't want me to leave for the sake of not having to train someone else. And then secondly, you pretty much lie. You say, okay, come up with my own plan. And then you use my meeting to you use it against me, basically. But you want to see me succeed. You want to see me grow. And so just fast forward, I did refuse to sign that document. I felt I did to take the time to read it. And a lot of the information in there are some parts that are true. But if there were errors that I made, again, from the beginning, I pride myself on trying to improve. So if it happened one time, it didn't happen again. And so from that point, I disagreed, took it to the HR person, and they told me, they'll talk to my boss and her boss and see if we can come up with something. So next thing I know, there's a meeting set up on my calendar for my boss. I'm already afraid because I kind of I told on her pretty much. And I had to put together like a very detailed PowerPoint of examples as to why I disagreed. So when I circle back with the HR person, I'm like, why is this meeting on my calendar? What am I to expect at this point? Well, if they just want to get on the same page, she wants to get on the same page. I said, okay, so when you mean get on the same page, is it to explain why the information is in the document, but to not change anything, or to get on the same page and make adjustments so that we can be on the same page? Right. Well, she just wants you to just be on the same page and for you to understand why she put it there. I said, okay. I said, so again, what happens if I don't agree? Because I don't. Well, the next step will be resignation. And so I thought long and hard about that. And just how I was feeling, one, the way she made me feel, the lack of support, and the fact that the action items that they lined up for me were pretty much unrealistic, because you tell me I can make no more than one mistake over the course of several months. That's not realistic. And no, you tell me your goal is to keep me here. I didn't buy that at all. So I prayed on it. I even went to a retreat through my church, had people praying for me. And it was my grandmother that made a phone call while I was at work that following month, like the day of that discussion that took place. Right before that meeting, she said, Angela, I prayed on this. Resign. Go ahead and do it. And when I went into that meeting, I was very nervous because I didn't know. I know they saw that document that I put together, pretty much just blasting her. But there was, I prayed about, I said, God, allow me to go in here and speak my truth. Allow me to go in here and speak my truth and to speak with dignity. And so I knew I was going to resign. So when I sat in there, I basically told them, I read the document. While I agree while there are parts I agree with, there are also parts I disagree with. Here's why I disagree. I said, but what I want to circle on is a comment that you made. And I said, I really didn't get a chance to explain that to you because the meeting that I set up ended up becoming a performance review, which with the document. So I said, I understand that there was frustration on your end as well as my end about me being challenged in certain areas. I said, but the comment you made about closing your laptop to grab a drink, I said, I'm not really sure what you're expecting from me as an employee, how you were expecting me to respond to that, because I didn't find it to be funny. Right. And so I said, and when you told me to go home and come up with a plan, yeah, I did that. But then at the same time, all I could think about was how you made me feel. And I said, I'm looking at these action items. I'm not feeling my mindset is not where it should be. And I truly believe that if the shoe doesn't fit, it just doesn't. So with that, I would like to formally resign from this position.
That's right.
And complete silence. She didn't say anything. All she could do was just really apologize and say, Coach just cares about y'all so much, and I see you as my own children. Correction, we're not your children. We're professional. And you should. And it was just everything about her. I had reservations from really day one, but I try to give people the benefit of the doubt. But it was just so disappointing that I didn't have her support, and I knew that she wasn't going to advocate for me. I felt that from the jump, but I said, you know what? Let me see how this whole thing works out. And, sad to say, that's been my second encounter where I've worked with an African-American woman, worked for an African-American woman, and they have both pushed me out the door, pretty much.
And I'm with you, Chef D. You're not the only one. I've worked with some like that too. I call them Black henchmen because white people use another Black person to do damage to you because they don't want you there in the first place. That's why it's so important to start our own businesses, hire people that will support us, our own, because other people hire their own and they have no shame in their game. You go into their stores and you see nothing but their own in there, or their restaurants or whatever. And here we are afraid to hire our own people that's loyal, and it's about being fair as well. But I've had the same ordeal happen to me on jobs as well, and I call them Black henchmen because the white people will put them out front to ridicule you. We're seeing it right now with Kyrie Irving, with what's their names? Those basketball players. Hey, Barbara, we're seeing them right now, how they're calling this man an idiot. The white people will put them out there as their spokesperson so they can take the heat off of them and say, well, see, that's what your own people said. We didn't do it, we didn't say it. So they think they're clever, but they're not clever by putting this Black person out here to castrate another Black person. And these Black people that do that, I call them by what it is. They're cowards.
Yeah.
They're cowards. And many of them, like Charles Barkley, Shaquille O'Neal, Shannon Sharp, Stephen A. Smith, LeBron James, and we have enough money running through our hands. Once again, I'm going to say that multiple times, where we can build our own, as Dr. Claude Anderson say, powernomics. We can build our own. We got to get out of that mindset of allowing these people to bring other Black people who are still shackled, enslaved in their chains. And that's what they are. And when you said a key word, Angela, these people on these jobs see us as 3/5 of a person, as they have by design in the Constitution stated, and their property. And many of us act like that. And this woman telling you, she look at you as your own children. I'm so glad that you are woman enough to let them know, I'm not your child. In fact, I'm not a child. I am a full-grown professional woman who came here to do an exceptional job for you. And if there's anything within this job that I have a deficiency in, why don't you treat me like you treat the white people in the job? I know what I'm talking about because I've encountered it. White people are given multiple chances to screw up. I mean, royally screw up.
Yeah.
And they don't get fired. Time a Black person make one mistake, oh, you need to fire them. I have challenged that on jobs as a manager. I mean, I won't be insubordinate, but I do let the boss know, well, you didn't fire so-and-so, and look how many times you've given them chances, even pass them on to another team so that you can keep them there.
Yeah.
And this is what these white people do on these jobs. I'm telling you what I know, and it's not all white people. So if you're out here listening as a white person and you're a righteous-minded white person, you know what I'm talking about. But if you're one of these white supremacists, and I don't think you're supreme over me by no chance, I'm a highly intelligent Black woman, and I speak up on these jobs and I let them know I have never been fired from a job, and probably because I do my documentation.
We all
And
understand do the documentation.
And I confront them with it. You have to learn how to document these people on these jobs. And that's why it's so vital that we start our own businesses and support one another, because they don't want you there anyhow. Right. And if you are there, they want to treat you like you are a child in their property. Just like what happened to you, Angela. And thank you so much for coming in and sharing that.
Yes, thank you, Angela.
Go ahead, Dee.
I had one just like her, okay? And I think I told you about her. And, you know, she told me in an HR meeting that she was trying to make me successful.
Yes.
I said, well, I feel like I'm already successful, but I'm looking to grow, you know? I mean, so you pretty much told me I'm not in a successful state of mind because I'm not listening to you, or you feel like I'm not listening to you. So it's like she turned ugly in private meetings. I mean, ugly.
Yes.
So why do we, as Black women, and that's a whole nother conversation. That's a whole nother topic. Okay. Look at each other and want to tear us down for what? I'm living my life, you live your life, and you know, you do you, I do me, we support each other when we come together. I don't see that either, Angela.
I think, you know, a lot of times it could be like Miss Lee said, that a threat, jealousy, you know. I know me, and I guess I'm aware of it at this point in my life. I'm all business, and there is an era about me I don't try to have this type of air, but I guess it's some type of air of importance. And there's a level of confidence that I guess
Yes.
it probably could come off in a way that maybe I feel like I know it all, or I don't try to do that, but that's
It's
just
not arrogance, Angela. It's confidence. That's what you need.
right. And a lot of times I think when it comes to Black women, yeah, that could definitely be a threat, especially if you're someone, you're intelligent, maybe you're well
Yes.
dressed, classy. Basically, you got it going on. You have the whole package. That's a threat, especially when they're used to being up here. You see, and somebody coming in that has potential to be where you are, if not higher, and that's a problem.
Absolutely. It's a problem with them.
Let's talk about
Yes.
how to change that. What are some of the things we want to tell our mutual Black women about that? Like, what would you want it from that boss, Angela?
What you said? What would I have wanted from
Like,
that?
what would you? Yeah. So
Definitely just figuring out, okay, how let's come up with the plan together. Just more inclusiveness, if you will, because don't get me wrong, at that company, I've met some exceptional Black people. So not all Black people are like crabs in a bucket. And
Right.
so
Absolutely.
in fact, right before I left, there was a Black woman. I was eating lunch by myself, and we didn't work together or anything. We knew of each other. And she came over, and we just kind of started talking about a lot of the changes within the company. And I guess she saw some type of potential in me. She was older, and she said, I want to see young Black people move ahead. I'm going to put you in
Yes.
contact with the director of talent acquisition, and I want you guys to meet. And he was trying to get me on. Once we met, he kind of knew the situation because I'm pretty transparent, and he was really trying his hardest to get me over to his department. But since that performance improvement plan was in place, if I were to move to that department, it would be considered as a promotion. So with that document, I couldn't do it. But the point being was that, we didn't even have to know each other. Just from Black support, she saw something in me, and she wanted to put me in contact. She said, there's no career path where we are, and I want to see you go forward. And so I definitely like that type of situation. Even the boss I had when I first started that company, we had one-on-one conversations. She actually connected me to, they call it BPAN. So the Black, what is it called? African American Network. She connected me with those groups, and it wasn't about being racist per se, but it's just, we had that relationship, and she wanted to see me grow. She talked about other positions. If she felt like I wasn't a good fit, so to answer your question, Ms. Delores, if she felt like I wasn't a good fit, maybe help me find something else. Because my other, if you knew I was coming upon the year mark, which I did, and I could find other opportunities, maybe help me do that, or set up a special training, one-on-one trainings. But she didn't even try. She just utilized those meetings to point out the mistakes. And then I had to come up with my own solutions, which clearly weren't good enough. So I really needed her really more than ever. And she just was not a good supervisor in that sense. And it was very disappointing. It really was.
Yeah. And I can imagine, and we need mentors. And I'm so happy you brought that out, because I recall when I first started working with the County of Los Angeles, right out of college with a bachelor's degree in social work. And to get in, I went in on an entry-level position. I had this Black woman, brilliant Black woman, who pulled me to the side, and she said, Louise, this is not the place for you. You're too intelligent, too smart to be here. And she told me what I needed to do. And she became a mentor to me. She had been in the county for years. I'm fresh out of college, going into an entry-level job. And I took her word for what she said. I went into the other area, another department, and I started elevating. Boom, boom, boom. I met a lot of challenges along the way because of my intelligence. I met so many obstacles from white people. And I had obstacles from some Black people who were afraid to speak up on my behalf, except for one. She spoke up. And I was so happy. She pulled me to the side, and we can do that. She was a mentor, and she let me know, because she was in a position to know what was going on. She
Yeah.
gave me some advice. I utilized that advice as well. And I became a department head and kept elevating myself because I knew I had the intelligence to do the job. And that's what we need. We need more Black mentors. We need to share information like Chef D talked about earlier. We get on social media, a lot of us, and we won't share anything of substance. We share a bunch of nonsense. Some of us are on here teaching our children nonsense. I saw a Black grandmother on here teaching the child looked like she was 3 or 4. I call it child abuse when you're on teaching your child about something called Catch a Man Stew. It's on YouTube. I would call it child abuse, the way she spoke to that child. This was allegedly, from what she was saying, she was the grandmother. And some of the stuff she said to that child, I would call it nothing but child abuse, and they need counseling. And that's another thing. If we want our children to go into business, we need to have mentors for our children. We need to be role models for our children as parents. So and we need to, on these jobs, we have to let these people know, I didn't come here to be a second-class citizen. You need to respect me like you want me to respect you. And that's something that I've been disrespected on the job. I hear Dee is saying it. I hear what you said, Angela. That was nothing but disrespect of you. And we have to challenge that. I've never resigned from a job. I'm sure they probably wanted me to. I said, let them fire me. They wouldn't fire me. So I went ahead. You have to do what you have to do. In some instances, you have to go ahead and leave the job with some conditions. You have to set your own conditions sometimes. And that happens, but you have to know how to articulate and you have to know how to document. That's where reading from us comes in. A lot of us won't read, and I would advise anybody, go and read Dr. Anderson's book, Black Labor, White Wealth. Dr. Claude Anderson, Black Labor, White Wealth. Go and read Powernomics. I've met this man. He's in his 80s now. I've met him. I have my books autographed. I've heard him speak. He's all over YouTube. I mean, he has some awesome information, amazing for us as Black people, how to start a business, how to conduct yourself. I mean, he's a guru as far as I'm concerned. And I read the book back in the 1990s, and that helped me so much. It gave me a new perspective on life. So Barbara, thank you for coming in. Did you want to say something? I know you were part of our vision board and we talked about that, and I know you have been trying to get in. Barbara Smith is on board with us, and we're going a little bit over, but it's okay, our hour, because we can stay in and talk, because I think this is a relevant conversation that we're having about supporting Black businesses and what we can do to elevate ourselves and support one another, because we don't do it enough. And again, I'm Louise Hicks, your host of Aim to Purpose Spiritual Empowerment Hour. This podcast comes on every Sunday. Sometimes I have guests and sometimes I don't. I just talk about whatever I think is relevant. And I have a YouTube channel, AIMED, AIMED, the number 2, Purpose Radio, Aim to Purpose Radio. Go to my YouTube channel and subscribe and share information, because it's important that we collectively come together. We're the only ethnic group that is so divided, and it's all by design. So stop letting other people write our narrative. We need to write our own story. Here are other people out here, they don't want us to write their story. So why are we allowing them to write our story? And to tell lies at that, because they don't tell our history the way it is, because America know that they have disgraced themselves with slavery. And there are Black people out there saying, forget about slavery, but they don't tell anybody else to forget about their history. And some of that history didn't even happen on American soil. So we need to stand up for ourselves and stop being fearful. And all these Christians out here saying, oh, we shouldn't talk about that. But you're a Christian. And what does it say in 2 Timothy 1:7? What does it say? It talks about God has not given us the spirit of fear, but a power of love and of a sound mind.
Yep.
So why are you so fearful to speak up for yourself? I'm not.
Yeah.
On the job, housing, supermarket, I will challenge you. You tell me one thing, I'm going to challenge it, but I'm going to
What?
challenge it by doing due diligence.
Right. Um, I didn't want to interrupt, but Barbara, did you have something to say? I'm sorry.
Well, I just wanted to say thanks for having the webinar. Congratulations, Chef D and Chef Flakes. Angela, I wanted you to know you did the best thing for you. Many of us have went through loss of jobs, but you remember, grandmoms knows best, and your almighty power God knows
Yes.
exactly. So don't even worry about those people. That's what I call women like that, those kind of women. Keep moving and go forward. And thank you for having us, Louise.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. And Barbara, let me ask you this. Since you were part of the vision board that we did, and we talked about a whole bunch of things. Dee shared hers. Did you do anything? Has anything happened exciting that you can share quickly about your vision that we talked about in the private vision board?
Yes, I am working on my third vision board. Not a lot of them, but it has enticed me to open up my own business. So
Goodness.
I'm in the makings. And if the young lady is on the webinar here, I'm not going to say her name. She'll know who she is. She's going to help me with my branding. So I did a little setback because I went back to the county, did these election ballots, and I'm finished with that. So I am working on something that God has blessed me with since back in 2001. And I'm excited. You all will be the first ones to get my website. So just keep your ears and your eyes open. So I'm excited.
I love it. And that's what we need to do. Share with one another, uplift. And we have Black women out here hating on one another. Let's stop that. Stop the jealousy. Look what happened to Shanquilla Robinson, is that her
Oh
name?
my God,
The
yes.
in Mexico. Look what
Yeah.
happened to her. I mean, this lady paid for, she's a businesswoman, like what we're talking here. All of us in here are business women. And some of us are on startups, some of us have been at it for a while, but let's uplift one another as Black women. We have enough issues in America being Black, period, let alone tearing down one another. Let's uplift. I'm excited for you, Barbara. Carry on. I'm excited for you, Angela. Carry it on, because when God allows one door to be closed, believe me, a bigger door is going to open for you, because you have the brilliance. You're a brilliant, beautiful, Black, professional, melanated woman, and a millennial at that. And look how articulate you are. You're doing your thing, and it's time for you to move forward and do something different. And your grandmom had the right information for you. And when the time is right for you to do something, God will open that next door for you, the next chapter of your life. And we need more mentors like myself and Barbara. We're baby boomers. We need more of us to come out and be mentors, whereas some of us are just stuck. We're stuck in a spot, some of us baby boomers, and we're not mentoring. We're not gaining knowledge ourselves so that we can share it with the millennials, the Gen Xers, like what Chef D is doing. She's a Gen Xer, and she's in her kitchen working right now as we speak. And that's amazing and awesome. And she's professional in what she's doing. Look at her moving around, working. So I'm telling everybody, Black people particularly, and anybody else that's in Houston, go out and support Chef D and build a pizza. You need to know where she's located. Go to her website. Build, B-U-I-L-D, a pizza, P-I-Z-Z-A, fun, F-U-N, like Frank, Umbrella, Nancy. Build her website, Build a Pizza Fun. And you can find out all the information you need to know about Chef D, what she's doing, her location in Houston, so that you can go and support her. And so what if you have to pay $1 or $2 more?
Right.
We got all this money coming through our hands. Again, I'm going to keep repeating it, $1.6 trillion, more than some countries as Black people here in America. But what are we spending our money on? We're going out here making other people rich and wealthy. Invest some of that money in a Black business. You don't even have to be the business owners. There can be a partnership with a business owner where you can go into business as a silent partner. I mean, I've been reading and doing this for a long time. I had a podcast in California with my son, Kenan Wesley Mason. I'm sitting in his office now in California, and Kinetic Fit and Wellness. So partner with somebody as a silent partner if you can see the vision. And that's why I always talk about vision, hope, faith, knowledge, and most importantly, take action. Because if you have that vision, faith, hope, and knowledge, and you don't take any action, where are you going to go? You're not going to go anywhere. And Barbara says, thank you. Barbara, Angela says, thank you for those words of wisdom. And Angela says, that's awesome. And Barbara is talking, I'm reading from the chat now. Barbara says Dr. Anderson's book will share about what we all have experienced and will experience. And you're right. His books, like I said, I read Black Labor, White Wealth by Dr. Claude, and that's C-L-A-U-D. That's how he spells his first name. Last name is Anderson, A-N-D-E-R-S-O-N. But the first name doesn't have an E on it, C-L-A-U-D. And get Dr. Anderson's book, Black Labor, White Wealth, and his other book, Powernomics. I have all of his books because I first met him in 2016 or 15 or 16. I was at one of the seminars in Los Angeles that he spoke at. Brilliant. Man is in his 80s and has been fighting for Black people for decades. So we all should be reading that book. You don't have to be Black to read it either, because you can get insight on the plight of Black people in America, because a lot of people in America are misled on our plight. They're misled because of history. People try to hide what America did, all of the atrocities. And I'm not going to hide my history, and I've taught my kids their history. So anybody want to say anything else? Chef D is busy. She got things going on. As you can see her kitchen there. So Barbara or Angela, you want to say something else until Chef D gets back?
I would like to say something, Chef D. You keep that kitchen going, because I'm coming back for some of the pizza.
Okay. And you see how professional she is. Look at how she's dressed, how beautiful she looks. She's smiling. She just got engaged. So that's look at her. And Angela is her stepdaughter, and Marcus Flakes, Angela's father, has been on the show. He's a chef as well. He's written a book. He's been on the show. Like I said, go to my YouTube channel. You can find so much uplifting information that you can share. And I would like to tell our Black people, stop sharing this NS and BS. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know what NS and BS is. Stop sharing all of that, because it's not uplifting. Share something that's uplifting to our people. We need it. We don't want to be crawling out of the barrel forever as an ethnic group. We want our reparations, of course, because they had a big rally out in DC on November the 5th with I'm trying to think of his name. Tariq Nasheed, spearheading this. And also there is a task force in California that's leading the way, and Governor Newsom has signed on for it, from my understanding. And also, I understand the Secretary of State. What is her name, Barbara? The Secretary of the State of California.
Dr. Shirley Weber.
Dr. Shirley Weber. I understand that she has signed on for it. And guess what? I voted for them. When I put my vote in, I voted. Because I'm going to vote for people that are fair with us. If you're not fair with us, I'm not voting for you.
Absolutely.
And if you don't want us to get what we are deserving of, and you want to give away money to everybody else, that's what our government seems to be doing, but they don't want to. It's been almost 500 years. and Black people are still out here. We shouldn't still be wondering economically. And because it's this show I have is all about being our spirituality, economics, because we need all of that. Our spirituality, economics, intellectual, socially, physically. We need
Right.
all of those things, mentally. We need all of that to make a whole package for us, because we know what this country has done to Black people. And the world knows what this country has done to Black people. And a lot of it has trickled down through the generations. And it's time for us to make the change. And we're working on it diligently. So what else you want to say, you guys?
Well, again, I just want to thank you so much for having me on the Zoom today. It's definitely been a pleasure hearing you speak. I love hearing you speak, and I would certainly subscribe to your channel. I think what will be huge is changing mindset. So my personal mission is to target the youth. So right now, I'm a substitute teacher, but I don't treat it as such. So I utilize that platform to help them to set goals, to understand just those things that maybe they're not getting at home. Because I think the disadvantages that a lot of those students in low income areas, the parents don't have the right mindset. So then they carry that into the school, and they don't have, and then with a lot of teachers are not investing in the students like they should. So it's definitely my mission, with the time that I do have, and even creating a business around it, to really give youth the tools and the skills that they need. A lot of things that you're talking about, kind of planting those seeds and translate it in a way that they can understand.
Yes.
And be motivated to really, succeed and be proud to be themselves, to be Black individuals. So I'm really, really happy. I'm definitely gonna watch your videos. So thank you so much again for having me.
And thank you for coming in. Thank you for sharing your story, because it's uplifting to other millennials. Like you said, you're mentoring youth, and we need more mentors out here, because like you said, a lot of them are not getting it at home. Some of these children are being raised by grandparents and parents, and we want them to learn what it is to be an entrepreneur, what it
Right.
is for what Chef D is doing right now. As we are in this podcast, she's in here fixing pizzas for her customers. And again, Build a Pizza in Houston, Texas. Go to her website, Build a Pizza Fun. That's BUILDAPIZZA. Build a Pizza FUN Fun. That's her website, buildapizzafun.com. Go to her website, get her location, go over and support her as a Black business. You want a pizza, you might want to have to pay a little more. She's already explained, we've explained that we don't get the capital of other people get. And it's by design, because they want to tear us down when we should be uplifting. So keep all of that in mind. And thank you for coming in, sharing your stories. And we're going to have Chef D to give some final thoughts when she get a chance. Barbara, is anything else you want to say?
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having this platform.
You are welcome. And Barbara has been a guest on our show. She's part of, let's give how people can contact you and your business, Barbara. You've been on the show sharing it before, legal, prepaid legal. I hope I'm saying it right.
Yes, it's I'm gonna put it in the chat. It's bsmith71.wearelegalshield.com, and I'm gonna put it in the chat. But it is legal services for all businesses, entrepreneurs, personal families. I specialize in the commercial arena, so I'm gonna put my website in the chat.
Okay.
Thank you for
Put it
having
in the
me.
put it in the Facebook chat, right? Is that where you're putting it?
No, I
In
had
the
to
face?
drop off. I had to drop off my
Oh,
phone.
okay. That's okay then. We can you can put it in this chat, and I'll repeat it once I see it. And Angela said that she is substituting. Is that what you're doing? But you're gonna work on your own business, right, Angela?
Yes. Yes, it's kind of like you said, when God closes one door, when one door closes, God opens another. And so I a goal that I had in terms of having my own business was around education all along. So
Yes.
interestingly, I feel like what I'm trying to do, I have to be in the classroom and to understand the students and their needs and their behaviors in order for my business to succeed, because it's targeting high school students. So I'm really excited to see, this path that God has taken me down, and it's been an interesting journey, but I truly have enjoyed being in that classroom. And what I will say is that when it comes to these young students, they listen. I think that they're just looking for people who care. When you show that you care and you're passionate about what you're talking about, you get their attention. I cannot tell you how many students have come to me and pulled me to the side. Like one student, I shared like 5 things that I wanted them to remember when it comes to building their personal brand. And these were actually middle schoolers. They said, Miss Flakes.
Hold on just a second before you share your 5 things. Chef D, do you have a pizza you can share and show the audience your pizza?
This is let me see.
Ooh.
Oh, wow. Look at that. Yummy, yummy.
And veggie pizza.
See,
Yeah.
veggie pizzas. You can eat healthy and you can have
Well,
other health. She makes all of her pizzas healthy. And she told us that from the beginning. She talked about her health because she does make sure that she's looking out for our health as well with all of her pizzas. This just happens to be a veggie pizza that she just showed us, and it looks good.
pepperoni and veggie.
Oh, a pepperoni veggie. Okay. And look how delicious it looks. Oh, wow. Yummy, yummy. You makes me hungry because I haven't eaten.
Offer turkey pepperoni as well. You don't have to have that pork.
Oh, okay. Hey, sounds good to me. Turkey pepperoni, you guys. You hear all of that, and she's preparing it. And she tells you how hard she works to make things for you as her customer. So go ahead and support her business. Look what she's doing. She's sharing with you what it takes to become a business owner, a Black business owner. We have to work extra hard because we don't get the capital and revenue like others get in this country. And it's all by design again, as I speak. And also Barbara has put her information in the chat. Is B as in boy, SMITH, like B Smith, 71 dot we are legalshield.com. That's B Smith 71 dot we are legalshield.com. So with that said, again, I am Louise Hicks, and we're gonna, if Chef D gets an opportunity, we're gonna have her to say some final words. Go to my YouTube channel, Aim to Purpose Radio, and share what you can. And go ahead, Chef D, give us some final thoughts because we've had a great conversation today.
Yeah, I know. And Lou, thank you. Thank you. Because, a lot of people, like you said, don't want to open up. They don't want to talk about specific topics. This is one, it's like a big elephant in the room that we really,
Yes.
really need to get out and talk about more. I definitely want to bring back with you, Angela, Miss Barbara, anybody else, Black woman support. I think we need to, those specifics, how we can support one another. You know what I'm saying? So it's very important. All I can say is no matter what your support is, whether it's walking into a business, supporting and sharing, saying hi. I can walk past some Black person and say hi, and I don't even get a hi back. They just look at me like I did something wrong, And so, just supporting overall, loving one another, no matter
Absolutely.
family or not. Love one another. I love
Absolutely.
and I am always trying to give. So just think along that, and let's do that. Let's end the year with just loving each other and sharing.
Absolutely. And we have some great shows. And again, before I close, I know we went a little bit over the hour, and I do that sometimes on the show because it's relevant. Again, I'm Louise Hicks. I'm your host of this podcast, Aim to Purpose Spiritual Empowerment Hour. I'd like to thank my special guest, Chef D. Allen of Build a Pizza in Houston, Texas. Her website again is buildapizzafun.com. And our guest that came in Angela Flakes, who is awesome and shared her journey with us, and she's furthering herself. She's a millennial who's very articulate, and I admire what she's doing and the information she's shared, how she is a mentor to younger people, younger than herself, and her own peers. And Chef D is a Gen Xer. And myself and Barbara, I thank Barbara for coming in, sharing, because she was part of the vision board, as well as Angela and Chef D and myself, that we facilitated back in May. And it was a private event, a paid private event. And again, as Louise Hicks, the host of this show, I invite everyone. I don't care what ethnicity you are, because you can learn. We learn from each other. And this is how we bring love and harmony to the world, is by sharing and getting our heads out of the sand, no matter what ethnic group, because we know that you've heard a lot of lies about us as Black people, because it's all by design. So come in and listen. Go to my website, AIM, AIMED, the number 2 Purpose Radio, AIM to Purpose Radio, and look at what we have to offer. And it's not to offend anybody. We're here about loving one another, no matter what ethnicity group you are. However, as I mentioned, I started this show to elevate my people, Black people, because we need it more than anybody in America, because we as Black people have suffered more atrocities, and it all stemmed from one word: slavery. And we are never to forget our history, never, because that's how we grow, knowing who we are, where we came from, and how we can elevate ourselves, because that's what everybody else does. And we need to do the same and come out of the darkness into the light. And I will say that, and Barbara says, thank you, Ms. Hicks, for this platform, Chef D. I'm coming to get my pieces. Angela, keep up teaching the youth. God is so good. And I agree with that. God is so good. And thank you all for being here today. And we're going to have another show. As Chef D said, we need to talk about us as Black women coming together. And I hope you all will come back for that show. And I'm looking forward to next week's show. I have a special guest, and I have a guest, 2 guests coming in from other states this month. So I'll be announcing that. And as I always leave the show, if anybody else, you got anything to say, because we're getting ready to get out of here. If not, I always leave this show and leave with you. Your power lies within you. Let it loose, because your destiny is your command. And don't let anybody tell you any difference, okay? Again, Louise Hicks, enjoy the rest of your Sunday and the rest of your week. And you'll probably see me again too. So thank you all for joining, and keep cooking, Chef D. I want a pizza, but I'm in California. Bye, everybody. And thank you. Love you all. Thanks, everybody, for the support you've given.